Okay, so today I watched Mad Max Fury Road, and it was extremely good. I was in quite a hurry to get there because I had to skip the last few laps of the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm a big Formula One fan, and I had to quickly go to Boots to buy medicine for my face and skin in general because I have acne, or used to. Might still have it. It's just the medicine works. And I went to see it, and well, I was impressed because seeing the trailers, I thought this film would be average at best. It looked too cartoonish and over the top, and to be honest with you, I guess the previous three films were. But this film was quite impressive. It's not a favourite, it's not going to be a classic for me, but I do respect why loads of people gave it positive reviews. I mean, Empire, when I learned they gave it 5 stars, their highest rating, I was really surprised. I actually laughed because it was really, really unlikely and random. So Mad Max Fury Road is directed by George Miller, the director of the previous three films. He's about 70 years old, quite an age. Not Ridley Scott old though. Ridley Scott's almost 80. Fury Road also stars Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, and Nicholas Hoult, and it's got actresses like Zoe Kravitz and the model Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. Those are some of the main actors you might have heard of. I definitely heard of going into the film. Don't think I remember anyone else, to be honest. Well, the I should just get on with the plot. So Fury Road features Max. He's been imprisoned under the basically the dictator Immortan Joe. He's lost his wife, his child, or his children. He has flashbacks of it. They kind of feel unnecessary, but they add to the drama. And what happens is Imperator Furiosa is transporting some supplies to Gastown. We never get to see Gastown, but from a distance it looks quite cool. It's so annoying that we don't actually see it in detail. But then she defects at the last second. She decides we're going east. And actually, not only is she defecting, but stowed away are Immortan Joe's 5 brides, his wives. However, obviously they're not really. They might be married to him, but they're not really happily married, and they obviously are sick of the person, sick of the guy. So they just want to get away. And of course, they're pursued, and the whole movie is basically a massive chase sequence through the desert, the post-apocalyptic world. And of course, Mad Max is involved in this all. He eventually finds the trailer, the petrol tanker. I don't know what it's filled with. Apparently, it's filled with milk, but it must be filled with petrol as well, and other supplies. And he gets involved, and he eventually changes to their side as they try to take down Immortan Joe's reign. And well, the story that's basically the story. It's quite simple, but it's made up for some excellent visuals. The cinematography is quite good. It's not remarkably exceptional, but no, it's done well. It's done as well as it could have been. Not often there are wide shots because the movie's set in this post-apocalyptic desert. There are lots of wide shots of terrain, and there's one scene where they're entering a gigantic dust storm, which you might have seen in the trailer, and the shot looks just like a painting. This gigantic cloud, like hundreds of meters high above the desert floor, and these trailers, this massive parade of trailers and cars, about 100 of them at least, are all entering it. It's spectacular. And well, this landscape, it's post-apocalyptic. It's filled with like dust storms, lots of sand and dried rocks, a lot of dead terrain, dead trees, swamps, mud. It's a horrible place. There's basically no life. Food and water is scarce, although it doesn't look like it. There's not very many of the actors look that skinny, to be honest. But editing's decent. I didn't really pay attention to it though, but obviously it helps. I didn't want to check my watch in this film, so the editing must have been quite good. And ultimately, the sound is also fantastic. There are loads of cool sound effects. Sometimes they're enhanced, so when you have clang noises, you hear them clearly and they drown out everything. And often, like in Interstellar, for example, the sound is drowned out. And lost my thought here. For example, yeah, when a gun is fired, you can hear the bing, the radio-like echo. I don't know what it's called. I should, but it's like that. Or if you play Trouble in Terrorist Town, when a bomb explodes near you, it's that kind of sounds. And of course, mainly the big appeal of this film is is how the visual effects are done. Some of it, like the dust storms, are obviously CGI, but there is very little. And Miller is obviously like Christopher Nolan, for example. Nolan doesn't like films which overuse CGI. Or he doesn't like CGI in general. He tries to use as many practical special effects as possible. I mean, back in the days of 2001, when CGI didn't exist, the best they could do was practical effects, which are still quite simple today. And there's quite a few films use practical effects and practical ideas. For example, they used, when they blew up cars and trucks, they used real cars and trucks and real explosions, and it genuinely had that feel to it. And that is what really works, and that's one of the things that action movies are getting wrong. Too much CGI. If you spend maybe a little more money on real shit, you can really, really captivate your audience. And speaking of captivating, the acting is quite good. It's some of the best blockbuster acting I've seen in quite a while. Of course, I saw Tomorrowland. That has even better acting. No criticism on the acting here. It's still great. I mean, Charlize Theron is quite good. Tom Hardy is also great. Nicholas Hoult for me was my favourite performance. He's in this. He's all painted white. He has these scars and burns and skull wounds all over his body. Not all over it, but enough to be noticeable. And he's shaved his head. He's bald, and he has this mad, insane appearance throughout the film. He has this. He looks as though he's on the brink of losing his mind, and he isn't really that insane. Not dangerously insane, but he's just cool. He's funny. He adds a sense of humour to this film, and even some of the actresses were largely improved. I mean, Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. Many hated her performance in Transformers. I didn't think it was that bad, but she got nominated for a Razzie for that. In this film, she isn't bad. She does quite a good job. She doesn't want to do much more acting again, so you might never see her in a film again. But in this film, she was impressive. She works, and this film was actually, thinking about, this film was shot in 2012, over 2.5 years ago, and it hardly shows. That would have been filmed last year, but after so long being finalised, finally it's in theatres, and it's making an impact, and it's great. I'll just scroll down. And my verdict in the film: it's awesome, it's epic, it's adrenaline pumping. I recommend you see this film if you're at least 14 or into action movies. Of course, that's the main audience, and it's just brilliant. It is. I can see why people are saying it's a landmark action film. Practical effects, a simple story, but it's decent, and it's filled with visuals so clever and so great, it makes up for any deficits the film may have. I'm still giving Mad Max Fury Road 4 out of 5 star, and yeah, a fantastic movie and very good too, and it may well live on to be one of the great masterpieces of 21st century mainstream cinema. And by the way, out of the brides, I thought Capable was the most attractive. Maybe it's the hair, yeah. and Splendid, mind you. Yeah, Splendid was great. Mind you, the actress Huntington-Whiteley is a model, so that helps. But in general, good movie, and hopefully, if I'm committed and bothered, I will do my review for Diving Bell and the Butterfly. That is also a great film, but sometimes I feel maybe not motivated, but I'm going to try and do as many reviews as possible. I do have a resit in a couple of weeks, so I best get revision for that done. Sorry for the stuttering, this is just my personality. I know I'm not a great film reviewer, but who knows, I may well improve a lot over time. So be patient. Of course, as usual, rate, comment, and if you like, subscribe, of course. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next review. So bye for now. See you soon.